Now, to help us with that, we have two other sheets to look at this week. I'm giving you things in a little condensed form because we're doing 20 weeks of work in 16 weeks. And so it will require of you a little more homework to do than is usually given to the other classes. But I think it's worth it. I think you can handle it. The second sheet I would like you to look at is a list of situations where you lose your composure, love, happiness, harmony, or security. Make a list of cases in which you lose, I would say, any of the above feelings. These could be in relationship to other people, to life in general, or to your own self. I would say that this sheet needs to be filled out before the other one. I would say that the series of working on these sheets would be to do this one first. Just to bring to your mind, in which situations do I lose my sense of peace, my feeling of composure, my love or sense of unity with the other person? Because it's easier to find the situation than it is to find the addiction. The second question is, to what am I addicted here which is causing me to lose my peace of mind? You understand? So let's look first for the situations. When someone criticizes me, when I make a mistake, when my children are ill, when my spouse is not feeling well, when he's unhappy, when I think about my economic situation, whatever it may be. That's the event or the case, the situation. In the right-hand column, we write the emotions. What emotions we have in those situations when we are confronted with those events. Then there's some questions below. Circle the case which you would first like to deal with, which you would first like to deal more positively. What lesson is the lesson you could learn here? Now, this is a difficult question. I would say that we could stop at number 2. Make a little small note there. Stop at number 2, and then go to the questionnaire for analyzing emotions and guide for active listening. Okay. Now, don't be confused. So we start out with the list of situations. That's number 1. Okay. We go to question number 2. We circle the situations in which we want to get free from. Okay? And then we go to the questionnaire for analyzing emotions. Now this questionnaire is a sample of what is called active listening. Active listening is a psychological method, most expounded by the psychologist Carl Rogers, an American psychologist, in which we don't give any advice to anybody. It's a system in which we have faith in the inner knowledge, which is in that person, waiting to come forth if the right questions are asked. And so it's like the method which Socrates used some thousands of years ago, in which he didn't say things are like this. He used questions and brought the truth from within the person. In this case, however, it's not philosophical, it's emotional, the questioning. Let's look at these questions. These are questions which your group leader may ask frequently, or which one of you may ask to the other in the group frequently, but questions which are asking you to ask yourselves this week about one of these situations from which you want to get free. You understand? Okay. Please make a list of stimuli, situations, events, or behaviors, or even your own thoughts, which disturb your sense of inner peace, happiness, harmony, or ability to feel love and unity with those around you. That's what you already did on the other sheet. And that's, you understand? That's the list that you made on the first sheet. That's already been done the moment you have answered this sheet. 2. Select one of those which you would most like to work on at this point of your life so as to be able to retain your inner peace, happiness, love, and unity even when confronted with that particular stimuli. And that's the second question here in the sheet. Okay? Now we go on. What exactly is that which happens, which triggers this emotional mechanism in you? What is the stimuli? Box number 1. You remember the boxes which we talked about last week? the 4 boxes. Box number 1 is the stimuli. Describe in some detail so that we can understand exactly what it is about that which bothers you. Here we have to have a certain amount of clarity. For example, someone in a group would say, the stimulus for me this week is that my child rejects me or my spouse rejects me. That is already an interpretation. We don't know what the other person does or does not do, which makes us make that interpretation. We're not interested in that's an interpretation. I want to know the words that he says, the actions that he does or does not do, the specific movement. You understand? We're looking for a specific action or behavior, not our interpretation that he does that because he does not love me. That's my interpretation. It could be completely different reality within him. He may be doing that because he fears, because he has desires, because he has needs. He's blocked emotionally. It may not be because he doesn't love me or wants to harm me or rejects me. That's my interpretation of his actions. I want to see exactly the actions. You understand? 4. What emotions do you feel when in contact with that stimulus? If you have various emotions at different times, think of them all. Box number 3. Do you remember what we said about the boxes? The first box is the stimulus. That goes to our beliefs. Box number 3 is the emotions. The 4th is the reaction. So now we've established the stimulus. We're now establishing the emotions. Box number 3. Now, 5. What do you believe? Now we go to box number 2. About what is happening, about your own self, about life itself, which makes you feel those emotions when in contact with that stimulus. Box number 2. You may feel this is a little bit confusing because it's in the beginning, but all this will become a natural process for you as time goes on. 6. Which do you believe might be the childhood experiences which may have caused you to believe those beliefs and have those feelings? 7. How do you react when you feel those emotions in those situations? Internally, do you construct your muscles? Does your blood pressure go up or down? And externally, what is your behavior like? This is box number 4. 8. How did you react as a child in similar situations? Or how did your parents react, if you can remember? 9. Which beliefs would you like to change so as to be able to retain your peace, happiness, love, and unity even when confronted with the particular stimulus we are now talking about, which until now created problems for you? 10. What new beliefs would help you to confront this matter differently? We have not gone into learning new beliefs yet, so if you can't answer that, don't worry about it. And 11. What else do you think you could do to help yourself get free from this? Also, we have not discussed methods of getting free yet. We'll be discussing those in a few weeks. And 12. For those who are familiar with the following, which do you think might be helpful? Exercises and breathing techniques, changes in dietary habits, positive thought projection, keeping a diary, strengthening spiritual or logical beliefs, and other. From 10 and below, you don't need to answer because we have not gone ahead into that yet. But if you have some answers, answer them.